but I don't think there's any chance of me hanging on to these boys. I'm pretty cooked.
All right, this was a 35-kilometer gravel shop ride with over 700 meters of elevation, and we started fast. There were 2 climbs that mattered, and both nearly broke me. Let's check it out.
We're basically going to go along Country Road.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to another brand new video, or good afternoon or good night, wherever you're watching this from. But I joined the shop gravel ride today, and within 10 minutes, I genuinely thought that I had to wave the white flag. But we were just hanging on for dear life. We rolled out from the shop after Tammin gave us a quick rundown of the route. But to be honest, once we clipped in, there was no real easing into it. Straight into formation, straight into a proper race pace, ducking, dodging, weaving, all that nonsense in between. And you know those rides where everyone's just like, yeah, it's just gonna be a chill roll. Well, this one was not one of those. We felt every kilometer per hour, that's for sure. The boys were on from the start, and we hit the trails pretty quickly, holding a solid speed, and started making our way towards what they call the dirty 1 in 20. Now, if you're wondering what that is, it's basically gravel, but it's the gravel version of the famous road climb. Same area, just on the other side, except a smoother tarmac, and you've got loose gravel, rough surface, and it just hits diffy. Okay, it's one of those climbs that doesn't look bad on paper, but once you're on it, you feel every bit of it.
Before the dirty 1 in 20, we'll see if we can hang on, but I don't think there's any chance of me hanging on to these boys. They're too quick. I'm already following the tail end and we haven't even hit any incline. Let's go. Heart rate's looking, quite high, 170. All right, let's go to it.
This is where it starts to get real. At the bottom of the hill, we're just starting to pick it up.
We're back on road. The shop boys have absolutely dropped me. I'm like middle pack right now. My lord. We've got under a kilometre to go, so we're nearly there. Let's go, baby.
Pretty quickly, I was in trouble. The pace didn't drop, the grading kicks up, and next thing you know, half the group is already up the road, and I'm just sitting here thinking, all right, let's hold on to something, don't completely blow up here, and you just have to get into like a bit of a rhythm. You can actually see it happening in the numbers. Heart rate climbing, cadence starting to drop, and the gradient just keeps kicking up. This is the kind of effort where you're not really riding smooth anymore, it's just surviving. And I do actually enjoy looking at this data. It's pretty cool to see after the fact, but look, I'll be honest, all this overlay stuff is a bit of a mission every time. It looks good, but it does take some work. However, I'm willing to do that for you guys watching here today. Eventually, I grind my way to the top, and the boys waiting up there, you know, legends, absolute legends. Thank you so much for waiting at the top for me and the others. But this is where it gets interesting. The climb is around 6 kilometers with about 400 meters of elevation. And back in February, I rode this exact same climb, same bike, same setup. And the numbers don't lie, I was over 5 minutes slower. So 5 minutes in one climb. Insane. That's massive. And honestly, that comes down to one thing. Over the last 12 weeks, I've dropped 10 kilos. And it's not like anything crazy or extreme. I stuck to a proper plan, stayed consistent with my food, and trusted the process. That's how we took that 5 minutes off my previous climb. Didn't really lose performance either, which that was a big thing for me. If anything, it made everything feel a little bit easier, especially on the climbs like this. Same bike, same climbs, just a complete different engine. Well, chassis. But from there, we weren't done yet. We rolled straight into another climb. Thankfully, shorter, but still steep enough to get you out of the saddle working. And then over the top, into a fast descent down the backside of the hill. And this is where things flip a little bit for me. Because being one of the heavier riders out here, once it all tips downhill, I can just let it roll. I'm sitting up, not even trying to be aero, and this is where I'm catching guys who are fully tucked, which always feels pretty good, but there's probably a good 10 kilos difference between myself and some of the lighter guys here. Different story on the climbs though, I definitely feel it there. Back onto the gravel again after that, and this section's a little bit loose, a little bit slippery, So I'm just keeping it controlled. Nothing crazy. I'd rather take it easy here and ride again tomorrow than push it and end up on the ground. Threw the data overlay back on here as well. I don't know what it is. It's just something about seeing the speed, the heart rate, the gradient, all in real time. It just makes it more interesting and engaging for you guys as well, I'm sure, at home. Imagine having that built into glasses or something. That'd be unreal. Had to stay pretty switched on through here as well. Couple of potholes, few cars. Just one of those sections where you can't really switch off, which you probably couldn't for the whole ride and every time you do hop on a bike. Then I just heard Dino have literally a lock-up before that car came because he shit himself that the car was coming around the corner. That could have ended so badly, but thank God it didn't. And we're here. One of the boys did have a little bit of a lock-up on this slick gravel road because, as you can see, it's quite shiny and reflective. But before we jump onto the runoff section that was coming up after this road part, one of the boys needed to go take a leak, squeeze the old lemon. So we pop in for a bit of a pit stop before we hit that. And let's just take a moment to look at the view here. Like, the trees are so tall, beautiful, and you can just get lost in these woods. It really is a great view, and it's a blessing to be around such a great environment that we are riding in today for this ride. But we hit that runoff section, and these are the ones with little dips and jumps through the water runoffs, I'm pretty sure they are. And, you know, like, I'm confident, but I'm not super confident on it. Like, a lot of these guys have been riding for years and years. We haven't been riding for too long. But at the start, obviously, it's pretty flat. We got some good pace here as we come through the big trees. And at the start, we saw some tents as well. That's quite random because I didn't think that people would camp in this part of the woods. I thought you would have gone to a more desolate, quieter, peaceful part. But look, when we go through these descents, I'm always making it my own pace. I'm just taking it a bit easier. So I usually just ease off a little bit, let the boys go through and ride it how I'm comfortable. No point taking unnecessary risk just to keep up for a few seconds, I don't think. And I also don't want to ruin their experience as well of going downhill if that's what they look forward to and getting some pace. As you can see, Dino absolutely rips past me with Nigel tailing it behind as well. And when we get towards the end, I lock up a little bit just on that real steep bit of descent here, coming towards the gate, because I'm like, oh no, the lock up, the gate. But no, we're all good. We're all good. But with that being said, we then roll down towards the Puffing Billy crossing. Nice bit of speed leading in, and straight into one of the steepest ramps of the ride, my life, existence. Everything. You can just see, just check the numbers. You can see it straight away in the numbers. My heart rate sitting at around 111 at the start of this. Rewind it if you need to. And then within seconds, it spikes to over 180. Like, that jump was insane. And that's the kind of effort where your legs just light up instantly. Connor comes flying past me here. Like, he's an absolute weapon on the climbs. Like, get out of here, Connor. Tim's right there as well, just holding a solid pace. And there's also Nige. Nige is 70 years old and absolutely sending it up these climbs like an absolute weapon he is. So it's absolutely unreal to watch. But from there, we roll back onto the road and start heading towards the final bike path section. And at this point, everyone's a little bit cooked. Well, a fair bit cooked after that. So a nice little descent here. It is really nice on the roll downs, which obviously everyone likes a little bit of the downhill rolling. But just like that, it becomes a holding on and keeping the pedals turning and getting back to the coffee shop. Had one of these moments on a small climb where I started catching someone and I'm thinking, do I go past here or do I just sit in? Because it's one of those like unwritten rules. You don't want to be that guy who flies right past at the end for no reason. Like, so do I do it? Do I go past? But I also want to just burn extra energy just because why not? So sometimes I'm a little bit torn. Let me know about the cycling etiquette type of stuff at the end in the comment section below, please, because I am interested in hearing that. Because I just, like, I don't know, I'm always saying to people, I'll tuck in behind you, and giving hand signals and being really good in communication, everything, just so I don't, come across as one of those dudes that just, like, it's all about me, and, you just don't want to come across as a wanker, man. So I was just staying my lane. But, like, with this, I was like, oh, do I do it? Do I go past Nige? I've got a little bit of extra energy. I want to push myself and see what I can do. So I did. Definitely, he stung me one time past on the Warbleton Trail. He flew past me one time. So it's a little bit of payback. But that wasn't even the thought process at the time. It was more that I've got some energy. I'm going to burn it just before I can sit down and do absolutely nothing for the rest of the day. And, you know, I went balls out there. So I was absolutely cooked, and then we roll into the coffee shop just to finish it off, and the iced latte was absolutely needed. The ride was harder than I expected from the start. Big efforts on the climbs, but somehow I held on. Same climbs, same ride, completely different result.
Three months ago, I got absolutely rinsed on that climb. Today, I held on. Well, improved by about 2 minutes. So we'll take that. That 10 kilos that I lost in 12 weeks makes a massive difference. If you want more of these or want to know how I did it, let me know in the comment section below. I'll catch you on the next one.